At the same time, you have also growing fascism. It is clearly a contradiction in them. How is it possible that those who have acquired knowledge, promoted as doctors of letters, and promoted as professors, and not able to profess anything wise or promoting good values, but preaching hatred? So this is some basic flaw, deficiency, or deficit in what we understand as education, or quality education, or the purpose of life. That's why I tried with this Madani. I don't know what somebody may think is a bit too philosophical. I don't know, but he did say to me, joking. But why have been pushing this idea to say yes? Should Malaysia focus on economic development? Yes. Should economic development and growth become fundamental to ensure success as a nation? Affirmative. But what's the meaning of success and development and progress when people become semi-literate and dogmatic, inhuman, and condone oppression, abuse of power, or endemic corruption, as we have seen? I was here, no, I'm not talking 50 years ago, I'm talking recently. We were talking about some of the financial scandals and fiasco during one. Don't blame this one person. System was at fault. Where are the voices of reason? Where are the voices who talk about values in the universities? Why are they silent, some of those elites? So we have to actually answer this very fundamental pertinent question. What went wrong? Of course, because our education, what we promote, does not also promote understanding, tolerance, and good values. Well, they say we're all educated, we have that, but no. But is this a dream? No. It has been practiced in the past. There's so much tolerance in the past. Yes, you can cite, for example, Nur Azwan was talking about, these wars. Khadija was talking also. Yes, they were, undoubtedly. It's historical fact. Not only among Islamic Christians or Islamic Hindus, but among the Christians, the Catholics and the Protestants, they cost millions of lives. I was telling my friends, some Muslim groups recently was shocked and dismayed. They said, what? I was telling them about the Crusades. But the Crusades only known to be this Muslim-Christian warfare. I said, no, that's entirely true. You study the history of the Crusade. The first group they slaughtered was the Orthodox Church in Constantinople. Because they think that the Greek Orthodox Church does not represent the true kind of Christianity. Similarly, in Islam, some of the more fanatical factions, sects can be easily prone to this mentality of Khawarij, which means an extreme interpretation. We represent the righteous and the right, and we cannot therefore condone, for whatever reason, those who differ, because they will create mischief and facade fil ard, which means corruption, destruction on earth. So you have that. But we have also great stories, a great tale which must be promoted in this dialogue, which includes, of course, the period of convivencia in the Andalusian experience. The 400 years prior to the defeat, decadence of Andalusia was this attempt by Christians, Muslims and Jews working, learning, having this huge exchanges, not rancorous, not a hatred, but to prove that we are in a way presenting the better view, better vision. And there was this healthy, philosophical, intellectual debate, forging understanding and respect. They respect knowledge, although you do not necessarily represent the Islamic viewpoint or the Christians, not the Christian viewpoint, or the Jews. This, I remember the address the Georgetown University in 1993, where I then tried to popularize this convivencia concept. That how those who have this measure of understanding and tolerance should then work. We are not promoting same faith or same set of rituals. I pray differently. However understanding and tolerant I am, I pray differently, I fast differently. That's my belief system. But this does not warrant hatred and enmity. Because the Buddhists may fast differently, of course. And pray differently, meditate differently. And the mantra can be longer than us. I do appreciate that. Yeah. I tried sitting down with some of my Buddhist friends near Bangkok. See, we go to Bangkok to do the mantra. I don't know. Not as well as Bangkok for what? Okay, back to this focused issue about dialogue or civilization. For us, to me, why we promote values of Ramadan? Because our survival. First, we are promoting what we believe as the truth, at the right period. We are human beings. I don't choose to be a Malay. I am born a Malay. You don't choose to be a Chinese. Or you don't choose this color. Some people are not happy with the color, they have this whitening process. Okay? We don't choose to be. So this is the beauty to us as Muslims, the creation of Allah. That's why the term is ta'arafu and recognition of different tribes. Even during the Prophet, the period of the Prophet Muhammad, you know about, okay, the Meccan community, the Quraysh, and of course, Yathrib, the Medina, different sects by faith. Probably they are different, they are all Arabs. But you have Salman Farsi, elevated to a very high pedestal. The Sahaba companion that suggested the first translation of the Quran into a foreign language, Persian. You have Bilal al-Habasha, the black Bilal, thick lips, dark complexion, but elevated as a companion and family of the Prophet. There's one incident, for example, but this is not promoted. Sometimes you say, no, that I'm intolerant listening to some. They just, how the Christians are trying to take over and Christianize Penang. My goodness, I'm from Penang. And the azan is not heard in Penang. I think you went probably at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, there's no azan. Okay. Probably hard of hearing. And then the influence of Chinese political party is a threat to the country. I mean, you go on. Why don't you come up with a solution? Why don't you come up with it? Well, there are also some strength and goodness in them. Of course, there's some rotten Chinese, not here, Vinca, they are good people. But there are some nasty guys. But so are there some nasty Malays or nasty Indians and Hindus. So what? Choose the good ones, promote the good ones. They represent our conscience, our values. That's important. You don't go and preach hatred and feeling of insecurity. You will destroy the fabric of this country. And nobody will gain. You see, in any multiracial pluralistic society or country, it's a major battle. How to ensure that there is peace and courtesy. Without that, there's no dialogue. What dialogue are you talking about? With this sweet battle